Before going to object-oriented programming, we need to understand the difference between OOPS and procedural programming language. Only then you can implement this concept to project. Procedural programming language is divide the whole program into a small part. That small part is known as function. You can call that function anytime in your remaining code. Compared to OOPS, here everything in one place, so it is less secure. And it will begin execution from top to down. So why it is known as top-down approach. Object-oriented programming language. OOPS is a programming paradigm. Paradigm is nothing but an example. OOPS is combined both the data and function that work in it into a single unit. So it is more secure than procedural programming. You can't access the data from the rest of your code. For example, you have a pen factory in which ink chamber is produced in one section. Barrel, tip was all manufactured elsewhere. They are performing different tasks and they can't access the data from any other section. OOPS can be used for real world entity. It provides major concepts such as class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. Class and object. A object is known as instance of a class. A class is a blueprint from which objects are created. For example, take a pen factory in which pen is produced. Then, pen factory is like a blueprint for pen. So it is known as class and the produced pen is your object. And this object have a state and behavior. A state is represented as attribute. States are nothing but name, color or a brand name of the pen. Your behavior is represented as method. Behavior can be considered as pen is writing. Now see one example program. Here, class is a keyword to create a class. Pen is a name. Now, it's time to write behavior. What is a pen behavior? Pen is for writing. Open your method, name it as write. Now, print pen is writing. Now it's time to create an object for this class. It's easy to create a class object in Python. Just call the class name like a method. P equal to pen of. We can call all the public attribute and method in class by objects. So p dot write off. Now run this file and see the output. It throws error. What is that? Pen dot write off takes zero positional argument, but one was given. Can you understand what the problem is? There is one default parameters for all method in a class. That is for receiving object. See here. You call the method by p.writeoff. This is automatically converted by Python into pen.writeoffp. To receive this object, we need a variable in writeoff method. I name it as self. Now run this program and see the output. Pen is writing. It printed successfully. I want to send cello string to the writeoff method. Open code cello. In receiving side, we have two parameters. First for receiving object and other for receiving string value cello. Name. Now I want to assign this value to the object variable. So self dot name equal to name. Now we print the self dot name in method. Print self dot name. Now call name. Print of p dot name. Run this file and see the output. It prints pen is writing. Cello. It's work. Init is a special keyword in Python. This special keyword has a special function. This special function acts as a constructor in the class. This init method is always called when the object is created. Then this constructor is assigned value to the data member of the class. This constructor can also be used as a method. See here. Def init of. I already said every method in a class have one default argument to receive object. So self colon. In this method, we are going to print this is constructor. Run this file. I didn't call the init method anywhere, but it printed in the first line because when you create an object, it calls init method first. It allots memory for this object and print this is a constructor. Then the remaining line will execute. Same like method, you have a double parameterized constructor. Add name in init method and print that name. When you create an object, you need to send some arguments to the init method. So send pen class. Run this file and see the output. It printed successfully. Now you override the default constructor to parameterize constructor. So you can't call the class with zero argument. See here, remove this argument and run this file. It throws error. Pen.init missing one required positional argument name. Inheritance is a capability of inheriting property from one class to another class. For example, your child inherits rights from their parents. The advantage of inheritance is reusability of code. Here, we are going to create two class pen and ballpoint. Pen is a parent class and ballpoint is a child class. Create class pen. Def init of self comma name. Self dot name equal to name. Now we are going to print that name in the method. Def print name of self. Print of self dot name. In class ballpoint, we inherit pen class. Create class ballpoint of pen. Now pass, we do it later. Now we don't need to create object for parent class. Just create an object for a child class. From here itself we can access all the public data in class pen. That does class ballpoint have the same property and method as in the class pen. So we need to pass argument for the parameterized constructor b equal to ballpoint of cello. Now call the method b dot print name of. Run this file and see the output. It print cello. Type of inheritance: simple inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Simple inheritance. What we seen before is a simple inheritance having one parent class and one child class. Multiple inheritance. A child class inherit more than one parent class is known as multiple inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Child class will inherit a parent class and as well as the child class also act as a parent class to other class. Hierarchical inheritance. A parent class has more than one child class is known as hierarchical inheritance. Hybrid inheritance, a combination of more than one inheritance. Here, it is a combination of multiple and hierarchical inheritance. Polymorphism is having many forms. Polymorphism means the same function name being used for different types. For example, like a woman, at the same time sister, wife, mother, and employee. First, we see some built-in polymorphism. Print of len open quotes Ketu. Now print len open bracket in list 10, 20 and 30. Here Ketu have 7 character and list have a 3 element. So the output is 7 and 3. The len method give length of the string as well as length of the list. So the same method is used to give the length of two different data types. This is known as polymorphism. Type of polymorphism: method overloading, method overriding. Method overloading. is also known as compile time polymorphism. Method overloading. Create method with the same name but different argument. It is not possible in Python because Python does not allow you to create a method in the same name. But you can implement this concept like this. Create a method def num. I am giving it two arguments x and y and initializing them with 0. Here you can pass any number of arguments up to 2. Now print this x and y. Now call this method. I already said you can pass any number of argument up to 2. So num of 2 comma 3. The output will be 0 0 2 0 2 3. If you don't pass any number, x and y will be 0. If you pass one value, x receive that value and y will be 0. If you pass two value, x and y receive that. Method overriding. Method overriding is also known as runtime polymorphism. Method overriding is possible in Python inheritance. Inheritance means inheriting the parent class property and method to the child class. When inheriting, you can redefine certain method and attribute in child class. This is known as method overriding. See here, class animal colon def init of self. Self dot value is equal to this is animal. Def show of self colon print self dot value. Now create the same thing for the line. Class line of animal. Line class inherit animal class now. Def init of self colon self dot value is equal to this is line. Def show of print self dot value. A is equal to animal of. Now create an object for animal class and call show of method in animal class. Now create object for a line class and call show of method in a line class. Run this file and see the output. It print this is animal, this is line. In A equal to animal of will create an object for animal class. It's called init method and assign this is animal. And then you call show of method in animal class to print the assigned value. In L equal to line of will create an object for a line class but it inherit the animal class. When creating an object, it call the constructor of a parent class first and then it call the constructor of own class. Now the init method in the child class override the same init method in the parent class. So it print this is line. This was the same thing is happened in show method also. Abstraction is used to hide internal functionality from the user. User can know what function does, but they don't know how it is working. For example, take a car. We know how to drive a car, but we don't know how it moves. The internal functionality we don't know. A class consists one or more abstract method is called abstract class. Abstract method do not contain their implementation. It will be defined in subclass, that is child class. Python does not provide abstract class itself. We need to import ABC module which provide a base for defining abstract class. See here, from ABC import ABC. Create class four-wheeler and pass ABC. Here, four-wheeler is an abstract class in which we have an abstract method mileage. We don't implement anything here. Just pass. Inherit this abstract class to the class car and van and override the abstract method here. Class car of four-wheeler. Def mileage of self. Print car mileage is 30 km per hour. Class van of four-wheelers. def mileage of self. Print van mileage is 15 km per hour. Now call both the child class because we can't create an object for abstract class. C equal to car of C dot mileage of V equal to van of V dot mileage of. Run this file and see the output. At print, car mileage is 30 km per hour, van mileage is 15 km per hour. Encapsulation, wrapping a data and method that work on it into a single unit. Encapsulation make restriction on accessing data directly, so it prevent privacy. For that, Python have a private variable. If you define private variable in a class, then the object variable can only change the value by object method. Class is an example for encapsulation. Class pen diff init of self dot double underscore name equal to cello. This double underscore indicate this variable is a private variable. Def set name of self dot name equal to name. Def print name of print self dot double underscore name. P equal to pen of p dot print name of p dot set name of smoothie p dot print name of. Run this file and see the output. Here we create an object for a pen class. When we create an object, it call init method and assign value to the private variable name. Now when we call print name, it print cello. Now we call set name to reassign the value of private variable. Now print this private variable by print name. It print smoothie. Here you can't change the value of a name in the rest of the code. See here. Add p dot underscore name equal to some string. P dot name print name of. Run this file. It print cello smoothie again. See here. The value is not changed.